Hey folks, how's it going? So, recently, last week or two, I've been having this flat earther in my DMs named Jonathan Arthur. And he's a bit of a religious flerf, and he's a bit of a Caleb sympathist, and I think he's got a bit of a hard on for him, but I digress. Now, he's sent some videos to me. Most of them are all BS. He sent me like Eric Dubé, which I said that's been debunked several times. He sent me some other videos, which is just people giving opinions, but stating the facts. And he sent me this one here, which he says he wants to do. And it's a laser test over a lake in British Columbia, just off the Okanagan highway, right? Which I actually had years ago, but I've driven down that road. I'm probably even past this lake. And so I kind of had a quick look, and there's a few things that just kind of stood out to me that looked a little bit dubious and I think a bit deceptive. But let's have a look. I'm going to play the whole video. It's not very long. And then I'm going to break it down a bit. All right, so let's have a look.
The wife team tested the alleged Earth curvature and discovered for themselves there is no Earth curvature over water and therefore no globe. For this test, the laser was 16.42 miles away from the observer and 4 feet off of the water. According to the globe math, the observer would have had to have been a whopping 130 feet high to observe the laser source. However, the observer's camera was only 2 feet above the water and you could still see the source of the laser. Can you open your eyes and see that the globe has a major problem here?
Okay, so there's a video, and this person thinks that this is definitive flat Earth evidence. The fact he says he's going to do this test himself, I highly doubt that. If you look at his channel, Jonathan's channel, you'll see that there's not a single video that he's done himself. It's all just reposts from other people. He doesn't actually he's not a truth seeker. He isn't looking to try to get his own evidence and his own things and test everything and question it. He just blindly believes everybody else believes. But let's continue on here. Now, I do think there's some things that are a bit dubious about this. And let's start with how that camera is moving, okay? Now, in that video, he shows the camera on a very short little tripod, stable, and supposed to be facing out. He claims it's like the camera's like 2 feet off the surface of the water. Now, let's first start with that. Now, if you watch how that camera is moving, as you're zooming in, it's swaying all over the place. So that camera is not on a tripod. That camera is being held. Right? Somebody's holding the camera up. They're holding it in their hands, and then they're zooming in, right? Because if it's on a tripod, you might see a little bit of shaking from like them pushing the button to zoom it in, but it wouldn't be swaying all over the place, right? That's on a tripod. It's a very short tripod, so it's not like the tripod's moving around and jiggling about. So I think instantly there, the camera is not 2 feet. They claim it's at 2 feet, and then they pick the camera up and they're zooming it in. So I'm going to say the camera's more like 6 feet, right? He's holding it up to his face, 6 foot, right? Average man. Now, let's look at the laser. Look and see how that laser is moving. I'm going to play a little video here. So like I said, watch how this camera moves. The camera is up and down, side to side. So somebody's holding this while zooming it in. So they're standing up and holding this. Also look and see how that laser is moving. That laser is going up and down, side to side. They're trying to aim it. Somebody's holding that laser in their hand and they're aiming it. It's being manipulated.
For this test, the laser was 16.42 miles away from the observer and 4 feet off of the water.
This here, I think that the distance is a lie. Now look and see what that laser is, and look right to your right if you're looking at this, and look at how that hill, how it slants down, and I'll show you what that hill is. So that hill where that laser is, right there, you can see it, and right beside that, there's actually some land and a beach right there. So I put the coordinates that it gave in the video in. You can see it doesn't line up to where that laser actually was observed. And you can see where that hill comes down at the top right of the screen there. And you can see there's loads of houses here and a beach. I think this is where the laser actually was. If you look here, you can kind of see where it comes in and lines up. So looking from the video, I reckon the observation of when the laser was actually on this beach. So taken from where the camera is, I'm going to line up to where the laser looks like it was observed from and not where they claim it's from. So looking at from where that laser seems to be coming from and looking at the land around the area, I think this is where it's coming from. And due to the topography in the video and how that hill comes down the side, this is the true measurement of where it is from. So there's been a deception. It's not 16 miles, but more like 8.9 miles.
According to the globe math, the observer would have had to have been a whopping 130 feet high to observe the laser source.
Now his assessment on that with the Earth curve calculator is a very, very basic Earth curve calculator and doesn't take other factors into consideration, like the fact that we have an atmosphere, we have air, we have gases, and over top of water, the atmosphere will have a pressure gradient. There'll be a density gradient. It's called elapse rate, and it's called refraction. And it's due to Snell's law, especially over water, like in this observation here in British Columbia, in Mountain Lake, very, very cold water. It's going to make that air a lot cooler. It's going to cool it a lot faster, especially just above the water where the air takes its observation. And that air is going to be much denser than the air that's slightly above it, that's a bit higher up. That's going to be as cool. It's going to be thinner. So now and so less denser. So down to that, the light is going to move towards the denser medium, being the denser air above the water. So light will bend. This is a proven factor that has been proven through much observations and experimentation. And as I said, this is something called Snell's law, which explains this, and you can figure this out very well. So the pressure that Earth curve calculator does not take the refractive index into account, which would affect the light of the laser. Lasers are light, they bend and they also diverge from the source. So not only is that light going to bend a little bit, and it's going to bend down, but it's also going to diverge out. Now lasers not as much as like say a flashlight, but all lasers do diverge from their source. They are light, and light diverges from the source. This is a proven known factor. And lasers in fact will have they'll have some sort of reading on them that'll tell you how much they diverge from the source. So you can have put it out, you'll see how the dot will get bigger and it's measurable. So that's two factors that were not taken into account whatsoever in this experiment, and they are confounding variables that will affect the experiment. Now I'm going to show you a Earth curve calculator that does take the refractive index into account and does allow for a higher refractive index, like over top of a cold mountain lake. So taking all the variables into account, as well as the evidence I have shown in this in my video here, breaking down their video, I'm going to use the measurements that I have found and that I think are right. I'm only using those because due to the evidence that I have found myself. And because of the evidence I have found, and I think there has been some things that have been misleading in this, using Advanced Earth Curve Calculator by Walter Bisling, you can see that is completely plausible and fits that this observation can work perfectly on the globe. And once again, looking at their video and looking how that laser is actually moving around, and you can see it come in and out. There's somebody trying to aim this laser. You can see it goes brighter and less, and then dimmer, and then goes off and on. And then you also see the camera start swinging up and down, back and forth. This is not a camera on a tripod, especially a tripod that's only 2 feet off. This is people trying to deceive us and trying to fake their results. So in closing, I have presented my evidence. I'm breaking down this video in great detail, and looking at all the evidence that is presented in the video, the original video, and I'm breaking it down. I have shown that this has either been, well, actually I know this has been intentionally designed to deceive the viewers in the hopes that nobody will take the time to break it down, to look more closely into this video. I realize there has been numerous attempts to deceive and con people to believe that the Earth is flat, and that somehow this observation of 16 miles, which it was not. It was more like 8 to maybe 9 miles, so half the distance. And also, I think that how the cameras and the laser was actually held up to about 6 feet and not at 2 to 4 feet, as is claimed in this, due to how the camera and the laser are both moving. This is very blatant and obvious, but they hope that people are not don't have the willing abilities or take the time to look in and realize that this is a deception. This is normally how most flat Earth evidence is that it's been manipulated and intended to deceive, to try to push a false narrative of the Earth being flat. So I appreciate you watching my video. Thanks for taking the time. Let me know what you think. Comment down below. Subscribe to my channel. Click the like button if you like it. And I'll be looking forward to seeing you again. Remember, the Earth is not flat. It is most certainly a globe. It's been proven demonstrably, empirically, and emphatically. And the fact that the flat Earth is not a single scrap of evidence ever been proven. Every time a flat earther tries to prove the flat Earth, they prove it's the globe, or they prove that they lie. Thanks for watching, and see you again.
And by the way, all those rumors on the internet are fake. I'm not flat. I'm not hollow on the inside, and there's definitely no reptilians inside of me!